What made her this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. On June 13th, 2018, Justin Silverman, a media producer connected to the gaming scene and event coordinator for the TooManyGames convention in Pennsylvania, emailed Christine, letting her know that he heard of her fundraising campaign to get to the convention. Silverman wrote that he could not offer her any booths to sell her merchandise and did not guarantee that she could take part in a panel discussion, but instead offered her a free guest badge for the event and the possibility of getting squeezed into a panel discussing so-called cringe culture. The following day, Chris uploaded 2 videos on YouTube, hoping to find technical assistance regarding her vintage home computer and gaming console, the Commodore 64.
As you can see right behind me, there's my Commodore 64 monitor, and there's my floppy cassette drive with 2 joysticks, and here's my old BFF. I got just about everything needed to put this thing back into order once again, be able to play on it and everything, but there's a slight problem. Yeah, it needs some TLC. I tried to get it out, trying to fix it with a Lysol wipe, but the AV output, this thing right here, yeah, it's got rust around the edges. Okay, so that's the update. Oh, and also I'm not sure where it is, and I definitely need it, but I need the power cord for the floppy drive as well. I'm gonna check eBay for an inexpensive one. So, thank you all so much. Please, all responses to this video are to be sent to my email address, christine@cowickville.us. I'll put the email address in the description below. Thank you.
Viewers on the Kiwi Farms noticed that in the video, they could see a drawing of Magichan and Crizel, Chris's supposed husband and wife, taped to the ceiling above her bed. In the second video, she delves more in depth regarding her problem.
Alright, power light comes on. As you can see, not much is happening up here. So, kind of stumped. Still need local help. It's probably something in the circuitry. I'm guessing, I don't know. I know squat about circuitry. Alright? So, requesting help locally from somebody in Charlottesville who's got the technological knowledge to, you know, go inside and all the parts and figure out what the problem is. Because I love this old friend of mine, you know? And also, reminder, please go to my GoFundMe page and help me on building up the funds I need to go to the TooManyGames convention up in Pennsylvania. I'm very serious about that. Thank you.
Null, the administrator of the Kiwi Farms and moderator of Chris's business email, relayed to her that she received many helpful emails, nearly all telling her that she was using the wrong cable. After some advisement, Chris purchased a new TV monitor composite cable on eBay for $11. On June 16th, Chris notified her followers that her GoFundMe campaign for her trip to TooManyGames had reached $60 out of the $400 goal and encouraged more fans to contribute to the fund. At around the same time, YouTuber Gino Samuel 2, the creator of the Chris Chan A Comprehensive History documentary series, had his channel manually reviewed by YouTube moderators after applying for monetization, who found it violated anti-bullying guidelines of the site and so terminated his account. Fans of the series lashed out at Christine, falsely believing that she reported the videos, which caused the takedown. In an effort to quell the accusers, some other party, possibly Null, was granted access to her Twitter account to write a post denying she had any part in the takedown and wished for a swift recovery for Gino and his fanbase. His channel remains terminated to this day. Also on June 16th, Christine shared a recent drawing she made to celebrate Pride Month, depicting 10 of her more prominent Sonichu characters, proclaiming in unison that those in the LGBTQ community were not alone. This picture, along with Chris herself, were briefly featured in a collaborative video project titled You Will Be Found, made by YouTube channel Scribbler Productions, which featured almost 100 members of the My Little Pony fandom, or Bronies, showing their support for the LGBTQ community. On June 17th, to celebrate Father's Day, she commemorated the occasion with a tweet. #Happy Father's Day to each and every father in this world and in every single other dimension too. My father is alive again. I still love him, even in his checker-patterned glory. The message was accompanied by a drawing of Chris Chan Sonichu with her arm around the shoulders of her father's Sonichu form, Robert Chu Franklin Chandler Jr. The following day, Chris claimed that her mother found an old autographed photo of music artist Johnny Cash and gave consent to have it sold to help fund Chris's trip to TooManyGames. It was listed on eBay for $200. Soon after, she advertised her autographed photos on Twitter, which could be personally signed. A Twitter user offered to pay $75 for one if Chris wrote that it was for Julie, referencing Christian's oft-uttered pronunciation of Julie during the times he was masturbating to the troll-fabricated girlfriend in 2009. She soon listed a single, so-called limited edition printed photo of himself from around 2005, with the word Julie written on his forehead, claiming that this would be the only time she would personally write that quote-unquote darned meme word. The listing was in fact double the asking price that the previous Twitter user suggested. Chris soon brought down the price of the picture on eBay to $75 and was quickly sold. One day before her trip to the gaming convention, Christine listed another item, a poster from the TooManyGames convention of 2015, signed by a selection of YouTubers present at the time for $300. On June 22nd, Chris's GoFundMe campaign concluded, ultimately reaching $120 out of her $400 goal. In the morning, she began her drive to Pennsylvania, bringing with her a baseball bat for protection, and also one of 4 Sonichu standees she had made, allegedly representing Sonichu's real-life scale. When she arrived, she was greeted by Justin Silverman, who presented her with a special badge. He allegedly then warned her about her behavior at the convention and told her not to use her baseball bat and cause trouble. Also on the first day, Chris met up with YouTuber Jab50Yen, with whom she bonded. In between attending discussions, she would meet with fans and take photos with them, often strongly embracing them. She also kissed many attendees of all genders on their cheeks, some of whom went on to complain to the organizers and security at the convention. Chris was apparently given a warning in person, but it is not confirmed. On the second day, Christine donned her classic polo shirt, visibly in tatters. She messaged Null about meeting with a certain CJ, who Null was convinced was a troll, since CJ apparently told Chris that Surfshack Tito, Jack Thaddeus, and Clyde Cash were also at the convention. Null discouraged Chris from meeting with CJ, after which point she avoided any talk of CJ whatsoever. Null later learned that CJ was in fact an alias for a group of friends wanting to help Chris sell merchandise, and the reference to the past trolls had been made by one of the group without informing the others. Ultimately, nothing transpired regarding their plan. Early on the 23rd, Christine went to a panel presented by Mike Pollock, voice actor for Sonic franchise villain Dr. Eggman, also known as Robotnik, and Kenny James, voice actor for Nintendo's Mario villain Bowser. Chris was selected to quote-unquote roast the voice actors or playfully insult them. A couple of attendees managed to film the interaction.
Oh, Mike, you're gonna make a dream of mine come true, because I've enjoyed every scene where Sonic got to insult Eggman, and I've got one that I came up with recently, and I just want Eggman's reaction, by the way. I'm a Sonichu. So in case you don't know, I'm creator of the original Yellow, but I transformed to this one, and I'm encountering Eggman, and Bowser can laugh if he wants to, if he likes it. So, Eggman, let's talk for a moment. You like wordplay? All right. So, I got a good reason for you to go back to calling yourself Robotnik. Because don't work backwards. You say Eggman, I say, nah, I'm gay. You split it up a little bit further, it sounds like, nah, I'm gay. And at least Cantor sounds more sophisticated than that. So what do you have to say for you now? See yourself now. Nah, gay?
Well, I believe William Shakespeare said it best when he said, "What's in the name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet."
Ah!
That's it, guys. Thanks for coming out, and have a nice time.
Not long after, upon receiving complaints from multiple attendees for being kissed and hugged by her without permission, Christine was told by event security to leave the convention. She had an emotional breakdown at the venue and collapsed to the floor, curling up in the fetal position, or what she later called hedgehog defensive state. She took her Sonichu standee and put it face down to mimic her actions. Chris lay on the ground and refused to respond to the staff. Jab 50N came to calmly explain to her the situation. A police officer also arrived to try and remove Chris. However, Jab 50N did his best to explain to the officer the reason for Chris's infamy and why it would be unadvisable to publicly force her to leave, as the scene would quickly be spread around online with the help of the Kiwi Farms and the cwcki. After a short while, Linda, a mother of an autistic child, came to Chris's side to comfort her and defuse the situation. Chris eventually regained composure and was escorted to the police office, where she was further calmed down by Linda, after which point she agreed to leave. On her way back to her hotel, she stopped for lunch at Collegeville Italian Bakery to eat some pizza, commenting on Twitter that the establishment was made 20% cooler because of her presence. Chris then suggested that they make a new pizza called the Sonichu Zap, featuring yellow peppers. In the evening, Christine, or likely Null, went to Twitter to apologize to the staff of TooManyGames and Jab 50N, and noted that to Chris's understanding, she did not receive a warning in person, and only got one in the form of a Facebook message, which she did not notice until after she was asked to leave. On June 24th, Keemstar, a YouTuber known for his coverage of internet pop culture and drama, asked Chris to direct message her, hoping to feature her in a future video, but one never materialized. Later that day, Christine returned home and wrote a string of tweets regarding the incident at TooManyGames. One question: what is wrong with this world? A peck on the cheek from a celebrity that one likes, positively mind you, is not offensive to me. What really ticks me off is that any displays of likes and affection is viewed as taboo and more offensive than bloody, gory violence. And how do I feel after all of the love and positivity I had been finding and giving back and sharing around? It all turned around against me in one felt swoop. I feel emotionally hung over and like a load of crap. I'm going to tell all of you hater trolls something right now. I will remain optimistic and open-hearted, and I am not going to fail. I have the love of my real, positive, and kind people and fans, and I have the love of my partners, Magichan, Krizel, Sylvana, and Mewtwo. Here, they are right here with me, and they directly, offline, communicate with me always. And more importantly, I love them all, and they love me truly. This is real. When a Twitter user told her that she got in trouble because she hugged and kissed people without their permission, Chris clarified that everyone she met had the option to keep at arm's length or push away, but none did. and simply returned her hugs out of kindness and love. She then shared the drawing she began working on, which depicted an embellished version of her exchange with the voice actor of Dr. Eggman, with Christian Sonichu replacing Christine in referring to the villain as Nam Gay, and Eggman confessing that he is asexual, with Bowser off to the side laughing because Christian Sonichu called him gay. On June 25th, she listed one of her Sonichu standees on the online marketplace website, Mercury, for $300. On the 26th, Null had a conversation with Christine via text messaging regarding her behavior at TooManyGames. He warned her that her actions may cause her to get preemptively banned from the My Little Pony convention, BronyCon, and if she continued to act the way she did, she could get banned from conventions worldwide, or even get charged with sexual assault. Chris wrote that she understood the situation and planned to keep her lips sealed before telling Null of her communications with the CPU goddesses from the anime and game series Hyperdimension Neptunia, which he completely ignored. On June 27th, Justin Silverman got in touch with Kiwi Farms user and Quickie moderator Rusticus, denying claims that Chris had been promised a merchandise booth and panel discussion, and stressed that he did warn her about her conduct in person. Upon seeing his posts, Christine responded to Silverman on Twitter, refuting his claims that he warned her in person. Silverman himself quickly replied, confirming that he warned Chris in person and received word from security that they had warned her as well. He then questioned why she tweeted the accusatory message after liking several of Silverman's Facebook posts. Chris wrote that her liking his posts had nothing to do with what happened at TooManyGames, and clarified that she had been warned against using her baseball bat and received no word against kissing attendees. She added that Justin should have brought her aside and told her in person, but since he didn't, he epic failed at his job, earning an under-mediocre rating of 2 out of 5. Not long after, Christine wrote several tweets admitting that she realized opening herself more to others was a bad thing for some individuals, and promised to keep her lips to herself from then on, and only would kiss someone on the cheek if so requested. As a result of her behavior at the convention, she was reported to the staff of BronyCon, who took note of her past activity and encouraged all attendees to be cautious, but decided not to ban Chris from the event. On June 29th, Chris unveiled a new character which she conceived a few days prior, Scarlet, the CPU goddess of the Commodore consoles and the nation of Comma, who represented the Commodore 64 game console, inspired by the Hyperdimension Neptunia game and anime universe. She added that the notes were written whether or not people believed her, and confirmed that the quote-unquote shit was real. On the final day of June, Chris complained about the casting of actor and comedian Jim Carrey as the villain Robotnik in the upcoming motion picture adaptation of Sonic the Hedgehog, falsely assuming that the movie would be animated, and criticized Carrey's voice acting prowess. She further added that the movie would be inferior in quality, like the past game and TV series Sonic Boom, and claimed she would protest to demand the movie be made better. Later on, she elaborated on her newfound appreciation for an old catchphrase of hers. "I want to make a note. After some time, I'd thought zap to the extreme to be trite sounding, but more recently, I have literally been feeling more and more of the electricity inside myself, not killing myself, mind you, but I dare say now, let's all zap it up to the extreme." On July 1st, Christine noticed that Jab50Yen was answering fan questions on Twitter, and regarding Chris's odor at the convention, he clarified that contrary to popular belief, she did not smell bad. Chris added that she showered nightly and thoroughly for around 10 minutes, utilizing soap, water, shampoo, and conditioner, and applied deodorant every morning. The next day, Chris received a fan-made plush doll of her original My Little Pony-inspired character, Nightstar. On the 2nd, she wrote a long string of tweets explaining the backstory of her recently created CPU Scarlet, claiming that she had passed away in 1994, and her spirit was entombed in a Commodore 64 that was currently in the ownership of a woman in the dimension of the real world, and would manifest herself soon. On July 3rd, she attended her scheduled court appearance regarding her trespassing charge in the Fashion Square shopping mall in Charlottesville, Virginia. It was given another continuance, this time for a date only 3 days away. Upon returning home, she went to Twitter to excitedly write that she uncovered her collection of vintage game discs for the Commodore 64 and posted photos of her collection. The next day, to commemorate the Independence Day of the United States, Chris posted a photo of herself giving a salute while wearing her classic striped polo shirt, visibly torn and falling apart. She then tagged the official account for Ralph Lauren, the original makers of the shirt, and asked if they could begin to reproduce the unit once more or to restore the one she owned. On July 6th, Christine's trespassing case was finalized. She was not given any fine, but instead was placed on the therapeutic docket, a program offering routine meetings with courthouse staff and mandatory therapy sessions for those with severe or persistent mental illness as an alternative to jail time. After she returned home, she lowered the price of the signed TooManyGames poster up for sale on eBay from $299 to $200. She also added her own name to the array of YouTuber signatures. Notably, in the item's description, she suffixed her name with Sonichu, possibly alluding to her supposed marriage to Magi-chan Sonichu. Also, by this date, Chris had earned around $550 from sales of her autographed photos on eBay. She then purchased a Sega Genesis game console from the auction site for a price of $40, a Commodore 64 game for $13, and finally, another Commodore 64 computer for $150. On July 9th, Lucas, a member of a group of teenagers with whom Chris met up on occasion, asked for advice on Twitter regarding his case of writer's block. Christine wrote that it may be beneficial for him to mind-link and enter into the story he was writing and meet with the characters. On July 10th, Chris introduced a new item on her eBay store, a replica poster depicting his original attraction sign used during his love quest in 2003, on sale for $60. Users of the Kiwi Farms noted that Chris had altered the poster with what they assumed to be Microsoft Paint and replaced the small text with a typed version, while also removing a warning singling out marrieds and blacks, and adding a disclaimer at the bottom to state that the use of the poster was purely for entertainment and should not be used to elicit solicitations. Later that day, a transgender woman on Twitter wrote that trans women were not told or warned about getting periods, which amounted to periods of moodiness, cramps, and sadness. Chris replied, stating that she felt some of her period that very day. On July 11th, Chris notified her Twitter followers that her plans to stay with friends in a hotel during her trip to BronyCon had collapsed, and so urged for someone to help fund her stay there by purchasing her TooManyGames poster on eBay. At around this time, Null text messaged Christine to encourage her to talk with her court-appointed therapist and get the police involved in investigating the extortion carried out by the Idea Guys, Joshua Wise, and Stephen Boyd. The therapist was allegedly aware of her purported spouses, Magi-chan and Crizel, but she was cautious about talking about the Idea Guys and her reality stone, which she elaborated was contained within her, and was the same in concept as the plot device used in the Marvel comic book series, Infinity Wars. Apparently, Magi-chan had informed her that the stone should be used together with her amethyst high school ring, which was a fragment of a reality stone, as originally told by Kiwi Farms user, the Captain, to undo the damage Wise and Boyd had done unto their dimension. Also, at around this time, Chris met up once more with Lucas and his friend Devil in Lucas's home while his parents were away. When she arrived there, Chris presented them with original drawings, and in return, she was given marijuana to smoke. While high, Lucas recorded a video which apparently shows Christine deeply kissing what she believed to be her wife, Crizel Rosechew, invisible to all observers.
love you, Chriselle. My wife, my lovely lady, ladies and gentlemen.
She's very pretty.
Thank you.
At a later point, Lucas revealed via private messages that Chris smelled like cat urine and had confessed to wanting to have sex with her mother. In addition, she allegedly had little understanding of personal space and would excessively hug, nuzzle against, and kiss them randomly. On July 12th, a Twitter user who had purchased a signed and framed photo from Christine received their package to find that the glass of the frame had broken inside the envelope, blaming Chris for her poor packaging. She wrote that it was not her fault, as she clearly labeled the bubble envelope with the warnings "fragile" and "handle with care," supposing either the receiver was being trollish or the post office was responsible for the damage. On the 14th, Christine listed a handmade blanket found by her mother Barbara for sale on eBay for $200. The item was introduced by Barbara in a YouTube video posted that same day.
My name is Barbara Chandler. I'm asking you to buy this blanket from me. Recently, I have been working really hard clearing out the things that they moved into the house 3.5 years ago. I had a lot of trash to put out, and I had to pay the trash people a lot of money to take my trash Friday. So I'm asking you to please help by buying this blanket, because I'm low on funds and we need help. Thank you for buying this blanket. I appreciate it.
The blanket was soon sold to a willing buyer. On July 16th, Christine informed her followers that her amethyst high school ring, which had been purchased by Kiwi Farms user The Captain in April, had been returned to her possession after paying him back the original cost of $200 plus shipping. The next day, she expressed that she was glad that she did not have to go to the fashion square anymore because it no longer featured toy, video, or bookstores and only sold clothes and crap. On July 18th, Chris posted a YouTube video in which she asks for help regarding her overheating car. By this point, she began regularly donning a toy tiara modeled after those worn by characters of the anime Sailor Moon.
Hello everybody, it's Christine Chandler coming to you live from my car right now. I'm stopped right now, but my car has been acting up lately. It's been going towards the heat. There's things wrong with the antifreeze coolant thing. I think there's like a couple of leaks there. I just had this car worked on that, but they couldn't patch all the leaks, but now it's getting worse. So yeah, please do me the big favor, buy my big price items so I can get this car totally patched up so I can get to BronyCon and all that. Yeah, big price items. Please buy those now so I can get this car worked on today!
According to The Captain, Chris then began text messaging all liable contacts for extra money. On that same day, she dropped off the car at a mechanic as an emergency case, meaning she would have to raise funds and pay for the maintenance after the issue was taken care of. The next day, a certain Miss Cherry, a trans woman in Australia, pledged more than $500 per month to Christine's Patreon page, boasting in the comments section that she was paying a lot more than others to be her new sweetheart and #1 fan, and was confident an update was forthcoming on Chris's YouTube channel. Chris herself appeared to reply to her, thanking Miss Cherry for her patronage, but rejecting her offer of becoming Chris's new lover. Refusing to accept her rejection, Miss Cherry then increased her pledge amount to $1,000. They commenced a private conversation while messaging on Patreon, during which they discussed Christine's polyamorous marriage, revealing that she had allegedly also gotten married to her original character, Sylvana Rosechew, and the Pokemon Mewtwo. They also talked about sex reassignment surgery, with Chris writing that she wanted to cut off her penis. Miss Cherry added that she had not yet had the surgery either because it cost a lot of money to get it done professionally. Chris wrote to her that she hated her penis and allegedly had not masturbated since 2011. On July 20th, Chris completed drawing and coloring her comic, Sonichu issue 12-9, solely focused on her My Little Pony-inspired character, Nightstar. The story begins with Nightstar narrating her life starting from her birth, sharing the same birth date as Christine. She reveals that she has a bit of the autism, and when she was younger, learned that she shared a psychic mind link with Christopher Weston Chandler in another dimension, with whom she sympathized and connected. Her life mirrored Christian's in many ways, including her penchant for drawing and traveling through different dimensions. Nightstar also developed heterochromia by getting some slime into one eye during an experiment, causing it to change color. Years later, while in Canterlot High School, set in the human dimension of My Little Pony's Equestria, Nightstar, while in human form, meets with Christine Chandler for the first time. Nightstar plants her own unique identifying cutie mark onto Christine, which turns her into a human version of a pony as well. After encouragement from Nightstar, Chris initiates a conversation with a woman named Diamond Melody, Nightstar's sweetheart back in Equestria. Nightstar then relates the story of how she and Diamond Melody first met and later went on a date in Quickville. While traveling to that dimension, they both changed into their human forms, with Melody experiencing the transformation for the first time. They had a pleasant day in Quickville, and then consummated their love in Christine's bed. They had further dates together, but unfortunately, Diamond Melody's human counterparts, both in Quickville and in the real world, turned out to be trolls toying with Christine, named Jessica Quick, referencing the troll Jessica Quinn. Melody felt guilty and ashamed by association and left Nightstar, who cried for a week or two. In a later story, Nightstar meets her true sweetheart, Kanhan Fu, with whom she helped win a battle in Quickville. After some time, the two moved in together. Towards the end of the book, Nightstar telepathically asks Christine if she could come help her complete her comic book. Chris inserted photos of herself, showcasing her opening up a portal into Equestria and coming out the other side as a pony. Nightstar and Chris then both transform into their respective Sonichu forms and wish away the readers, foretelling that the next issue of Sonichu would be a return to normality. The back page of the comic was one of 3 commissions from Chris, made by artist Feathershine, depicting Nightstar and Kunhan Fu nuzzling. On July 21st, writer Shonan Maguire, who was briefly involved with Marvel Comics, wrote on Twitter of the impact a certain issue of Spider-Man had on her. In it, she referred to the superhero as one belonging to Earth 616, which was one of many versions of Earth contained within the multiverse of Marvel stories. Christine asked her if she knew the categorization number given to the Earth which they realistically inhabited. Maguire told Chris the real world was named as Earth 1218 when referenced in the Marvel comics. Chris delightedly thanked her for the information and asked if they could discuss the matter further through private messaging. Maguire declined the offer as she was at an event at the time, and Christine asked if she could direct her to another creator or chronicler with strong understanding of other dimensions so she could learn more about the topic. Another Twitter user informed the writer that Chris used her answer to further instill the belief of a multiverse existing in reality and encouraged her to clarify that the concept of different versions of Earth was entirely fictional. Maguire replied, confirming that the Earth 1218 designation was a fictional concept reserved for the Marvel universe, and apologized if her words were misleading. Chris did not respond to this reply. On July 22nd, Christine went to Facebook to defend her beliefs. I am only going to say this once for those who may think me as delusional, crazy, or shit like that. I'm not delusional, crazy, or anything of the sort. I have my own magic powers that I'm still learning about for myself from my family and allies. I've already talked with psychiatrists and therapists years ago, so any new such meetings would be a very moot point. Also, I have been on anxiety and blood pressure meds for many years, and I have always been down to earth. and I still see my Sonichus and Roachus and all else from our sister dimension when they are here. Not to mention my electrifying powers and my quills, tail and ears of my Sonichu form literally on and attached to me and in feeling. Therefore, they all are real, and you may tell everyone that. And I do not wish to have to repeat myself on that. And I really do not like being mislabeled as delusional or shit like that. Plus, I have friends of our Earth 1218 here who have been to our sister dimension and experienced that world for themselves. Thank you. On the 23rd, Chris alerted her followers that her bill from her car mechanic was $850 and thanked Miss Cherry for her generous donation, calling her by her full name. Chris clarified that even though Miss Cherry felt very strongly about her, it was too soon to initiate any sort of relationship. At around this point, Miss Cherry went to the Kiwi Farms to boast about becoming close to Christine. In the aftermath of her arrival, she was ridiculed and her private information was partially revealed. She soon after ended her monthly pledges to Chris's Patreon and stopped talking to her. On July 24th, Chris wrote that her car would be fixed in time for her trip to BronyCon, thanking her fans for their help and kindness. The next day, an eBay user who had purchased several things from Chris in the recent past left a critical comment upon receiving the TooManyGames signed poster purchased for $200, writing that it had come folded and wrinkled due to poor packaging. However, they still left Chris a positive rating. On July 26th, Christine drove herself to Baltimore, Maryland, a day before the commencement of the BronyCon convention. While she stated her own car would be ready in time, she instead took her mother's Dodge Caravan. In Baltimore, she met up with Jay Hart, a fan and Kiwi Farms user, and received her personal BronyCon badge. Afterwards, they drove to have dinner. Possibly on the way, while stopped in traffic, a squeegee man offered to wash the car's windshield. Chris obliged and paid the squeegee man $2 and gave him her business card after briefly chatting.
This is a common problem in Maryland.
Give you a couple of bucks.
In Baltimore, it's a huge deal.
You just served a celebrity, by the way. Thank you. Yo, me. I'm the celeb. Oh, look me up on the internet when you get a chance. Have a good day. Thank you.
You said what's your name is?
Christine Chandler.
Christine Chandler. Like what you do?
Sonichu and Roach. I've been doing the books for more than almost 2 decades.
So you be at this convention center?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to the BronyCon.
You be at the convention center?
Yeah, I'll be there. See you later.
In the morning of the 27th, Christine recorded a video addressing any fans she may possibly meet.
What's up, my bronies and bigger sister peeps? This is Christine Chandler coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland, and I got my ears and horn from last year on the Apero wings. I'll get a pair in a little while. Later on. So, come say hi. Selfies, hugs, no chat free, just, don't harass me or anything. Be kind. Follow the rules. Okay? I'm certainly going to follow the rules. I learned my lesson from past experiences that I'm not going to go into liberty and talk about. So, enjoy BronyCon and I'll see you around.
From then on, she entered the convention center where she fairly frequently met up with fans and took selfies with them. On the first day, she attended a signing event with the chance to meet My Little Pony voice actress Tabitha St. Germain, who had blocked Christine on Twitter in August of the previous year. While waiting in line, Chris made a short video.
Right now I'm waiting in line to get Tabitha St. Germain's autograph, so nobody interrupt me there. And my feet gave out, so I'm standing on my knees. I did get a few good pictures here and there of my meet and greets and my fans. So anyway, that's my story right now. Check in again later.
After meeting with St. Germain, they took a photo together and apparently had a nice chat. Some users on the Kiwi Farms reported that Chris was allegedly surrounded by people that prevented others from getting too close to her without her permission. They were also wary of falsified reports coming from the image board 4chan, who were attempting to spread rumors of Chris being inappropriate with convention goers and force her to get kicked out. Christine kept in touch with the captain and let him know that she did not have any trouble and was having a good time. On the second day, Chris planned to meet with female-to-male transgender MLP fandom voice actor Nowacking, who had blocked Chris on Twitter the previous year, and present to him gifts of a doll depicting My Little Pony character DJ Pone 3, which he voiced in fan productions, and a drawing showing the meeting between hers and Nowacking's original MLP characters. The meeting didn't go as planned, and in its aftermath, she went to Twitter to recount the experience. Okay, venting time. He pushed me away, and I had a drawing and a present. He remembered blocking me on Twitter like months ago. What is his problem with me nowadays? He closed himself off from me, did not even stop to tell me why. I feel devastated. I feel upset. Tears are welling a bit. Why? Awesome and inspirational as he is, he can be a dick, apparently. Who knew? I guess it is the aloof, cold dude in him. She soon met up with Jay Hart and explained what happened. Christine wanted Jay to pass the gifts to Nowacking, thinking he might accept them coming from a different person, but he refused and asked Chris to delete her tweets since they may be used as a reason to report her to convention staff. She complied and quickly deleted the most recent tweet in the thread. Afterwards, she was surprised by a convention goer cosplaying as Sonichu, and they took a photo together. Later on, she attended the Riffing Rainbow panel, which encouraged attendees to try to read through a work of poor fanfiction exactly as it was written, accurately reproducing all the spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. The person who could continue reciting a segment of the work exactly for the longest time would win a DVD of the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop. Chris was the second contestant to enter the challenge.
And just so everyone knows, I'm Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, and I am the creator of Sonichu and Roaster in the nation of Quickville. So let's do this bad fan fiction.
Okay.
And Spike commented over to her, "What do you want, Twilight?" Spike said, and Twilight said, "I need you to get me the book of magic." He gave it the book to Twilight, and she said,
Thank you, Spike. Go away now.
Twilight,
Good.
open the book to chapter 5.
It is book. But that is a nice time of 47.6 seconds.
Chris ultimately did not win the contest. Afterwards, a convention attendee on Twitter wrote that they were at a panel sitting next to Christine, who began conversing with a voice actor about being connected to a sister dimension. Towards the end of the day, Chris was refused entry into the Grand Galloping Gala, a formal dance party which required attendees to adhere to a strict dress code, to which she did not. During this time, Michael Hertz, a known Chris Chan hater, began spreading rumors on Twitter of Chris exposing herself to a woman in a bathroom to get her removed from BronyCon. Hertz's attempts did not lead to trouble for Christine, but Null warned her if convention security approached her to ask about the matter, she should stay calm and honestly answer their questions. On the third and final day, Chris took more pictures with her fans and attended panels and events without anything of note occurring. After BronyCon concluded, she wrote a commemorative tweet, thanking everyone for the good time she had, and looked forward to the following year's convention, which was announced to be their last. After packing up her things, Christine made her way back to the car and began her trip back home, back to reality, and back to troubles.